Hello, everybody. How are you all? Hi, Bill, Lisa, Ella, Tony, Hillary, Sarah. How is everybody tonight? Well, we've got another great lesson with our fantastic teacher, Jack Stocken, tonight. So I hope you're all prepared. If you're new here tonight, please go ahead and introduce yourself in the chat window in the bottom right hand corner. We're all a very welcoming bunch. We're all on the journey of learning, so please don't be shy. Feel free to ask any questions in that chat window throughout the lesson. If there's people who can't attend the lesson live, so if you've got a question, it's likely that they would too. So if you have any technical difficulties, there's a couple of things you can do. The first thing is you can wait a few moments. The second thing is you can just refresh your browser tab. And the third thing is close the browser tab, go back to your original email invite and click on the link and open it again. Good morning, Vivian, Sandy, Ivy. So where am I up to? Yeah, so you'll also notice there's a little LearnBridge Online logo up in the top right hand corner. So if you do have any technical difficulties that you can't solve in those other ways, click on that logo and I'll be in the background. Please just keep any technical questions away from the main chat window because that's where we're focusing on the lesson. So what I will do is we'll start the recording and I will invite Jack along. Hi, Vivian. Good morning, Barbara. Beetle, nice to see you again. And Tiggy. All right, welcome along, everybody. So thanks for joining us both here on the live stream and for those of you who are watching the recording. Also a big welcome for anybody who is brand new, a big welcome to you. Don't forget you can leave questions after the lesson on the classroom page in LearnBridge Online, and then Jack can review them and come back to you. But feel free for those people who are joining us on the live stream to ask your questions in the chat window. So let's invite our fantastic teacher down or up to the stage.
Morning.
Good morning, Jack. How are you?
Yes, good, thank you. Enjoying some sunny weather here in England last few days, which is great.
Ooh, very nice. We had a few days of sun in New Zealand, but it started raining, so.
It's winter with you now.
It's winter, yeah. We can't complain, to be honest. No. It's been pretty great.
No, your winter's still about 15 degrees or something.
Yes, exactly.
So yeah.
When I complain to people, when I'm talking to people internationally, I'm like, oh, it's so cold. And they're like, how cold is it? And I'm like, oh, 14 degrees Celsius. Better put my socks on. I always get laughed at, so.
Well, very good. Well, Caroline, we ought to get going. Just one thing that's quite important. This morning, there's been a technical hitch on Bridgebase Online.
Okay.
Yeah, so I just let everyone know. I was a bit panicked suddenly at 9 o'clock when I upload the hands. It wouldn't let me do it. There's been like a technical hitch. But all is not lost. We've still got the classroom slides loaded up. And I've got a few special hands in reserve in my BBO library. So yeah, it's just that the hands won't necessarily correspond to the lesson, but it's nothing much I can do.
That's okay. I'm sure we can all adapt.
Yeah.
But thanks for the heads up.
They're fun hands to play out anyway. So
exactly.
Yeah, but just so people know, either watching live or in replay. The two hands that are available for replay are relevant to today's lesson. It's just BBO is not letting me upload them. But I'll be on the case later.
Fair enough. All right, I will leave you to it and I will see you at the end.
See you soon.
All right, enjoy everybody. Bye.
Morning, everyone. Well, let's get going. Hang on a second. I just need to, because I'm just going to upload the slides, the lessons. Hang on, it'll take me a second. Where are we? 9:30. Oh, not that one. Yeah, that one. Yes, there we go. Okay, so we're discarding a certain loser today. Let's have a look at that. So yes, the hands won't necessarily correspond to this, but that's what we can do. Right. delay drawing trumps. The most common time not to draw trumps first is when you can create a void in dummy. Okay, so we might be looking at that as well. The second most common time is when declarer plans to establish dummy's 5-card suit, the gold dust. You normally do that first because you need the entries to dummy, which are normally in trumps. So those are 2 times most common. The third most common time, I would say, when you don't draw trumps first, is when declarer has, say, 4 certain losers, in 4 hearts maybe, and has to dispose of one of those losers before losing the lead in the trump suit. Okay, and there's a teenager giving you the loser sign. So the technique really is what I like to in 4-level contracts and above, is to count losers. Some of you might like to count certain tricks. Your teacher might have told you to do that. That's fine. If that's your method, some teachers do teach that, to count certain tricks in trump contracts. But I just think it's easier to count to 4 than it is to 9 or 10. So you count the losers, then you discard the loser in the side suit, and then you draw trumps later. So, for example, here's a set hand for you. We are in 4 spades. Looks like a decent contract. Lead of the king of diamonds. Clearly you win with the ace of diamonds. What do you do next, do you think? And can you count losers for me first? Because some still find it difficult to count losers. Yeah, so first question is, how many losers have you got in 4 hearts? Second question, what are you going to do after the ace of diamonds? Because some of you do still find it quite difficult to count losers. So go through each suit in turn, looking at it from declarer's point of view at the dummy. So you go through the spade suit first. There's 2 losers there, ace, king. No losers in hearts. The singleton's covered by the ace. No losers in clubs. And 2 diamonds. Yeah, nearly everyone in the chat box got that right. So 4 losers altogether. That's not good news. And if you draw trumps, you see it here, they're very quickly going to take their 2 diamond winners and their 2 trump winners. So what do we do? Is there any chance of getting rid of a diamond loser? Not on clubs, because they'll rough it. Let's have a look at the right answer. Yeah, you've got 4 losers. You can't afford to draw trumps. So win the diamond and cash the ace, king of hearts. Well done. And then we draw trumps. And better to start with the queen of spades, really. So I'd win the ace, king of hearts, discarding the diamond. Then play the queen of spades from dummy, not the 9 or the 6. Trying to tempt East to cover with, say, king X or even king XX, because you never know. If he makes the mistake of covering with king XX, West will have a singleton ace of spades, and that will crash under the king. Have you ever seen that happen? The opponent's king and ace of trumps crashing together? It doesn't make for a happy situation between the opponents. So, yes, you could tempt East to cover with king XX. Of course, they should play low, knowing there's no point covering. But if you just play the 6, second player plays low automatically. So it's a psychological play. If you don't fully understand it, you could let it waft over your head, like the warm breeze that might be in your room at the moment. Good. Let me just share the screen. We'll go over to BBO. Yes, there's definitely a gremlin in the BBO system today. It's very rare for a gremlin in the BBO system. I'm just loading it up. Normally BBO is very good, but just loading this one up for you. And we'll play, actually this first hand I think is relevant. Just load it up. Let's have a look. Good, okay, we're there. So it's a 3-spade opener. would you raise to the game with a north hand? 15 points. What do you think? Yeah, you're all going to raise to 4 spades there. What you could do is your useful points, counting, remember, opposite a 3 heart or a 3 spade opener, not 3 of a minor, you can use useful points, not opposite weak 2s, but specifically, if partner opens 3 hearts or 3 spades, use useful points to tell you whether to raise to game or not. I wouldn't do it on losers, Sam. You know, losers isn't relevant when someone opens a weak 2 or weak 3. Do not count losing tricks opposite a weak 2 or weak 3. It won't help you. Just thought I'd point that out. But use useful points. So just count the aces and kings in your hand. Okay? So if they come to 12 or more, then bid game. 11 or less, then pass. So you've got 15 useful points there, aces and kings. Yeah. We don't count queens and jacks, commonly known as quacks. There you go. Oh, it's a good chance to slam duck to say hello. Good morning to you. But yes, we don't count quacks. Particularly like slam duck, yes. So we have an easy raise 4 spades there. Good. Well, never play too quickly at trick 1. This is something I really emphasize when I teach online, as you know, because at the table it's so easy just to play the ace of diamonds, you know, play the ace of spades, just do this and that. This is time for thinking. As I say, my bridge partner a few months ago literally gave it no thought whatsoever, was just straight in at trick 1 with the card. Really, even if you can't think of a plan, you know, pretend you're thinking, so you'll gain the respect of the opponents. So clearly we're going to win with the ace of diamonds. But first of all, have you counted your losers here? How many losers do you reckon we've got? That's the question. And good morning if you're watching in replay. Could be good afternoon or good evening. I'd say 4, pretty much everyone. Some are saying possibly 5, but I don't think so. I think you're going to lose the king of spades, the ace king of clubs, and a diamond. I would just say 4. I don't think any more than that. So that's not good news. So have you got a plan of action? Third player East remembers to play the 9 of diamonds here to encourage. By the way, it's lucky I had some hands stored up on BBX. I don't always. I just had these in reserve. It's the first time I've ever had to use them. Otherwise, we wouldn't be playing any set hands at all. I'd probably give you another lesson just with the slides. Okay, so what next at trick 2? Can you, I mean, what I'd be thinking to myself is how can we get rid of that losing diamond? Yeah, it's a good thought, Sam. One day, have a lesson where we just play random hands on BBA. Right, let's play the ace of hearts, followed by the king, and look, very nicely, the diamond goes away. Yeah, we'll think about that, Sarah. Yes, some random hands on BBA. Now we can draw the trumps, ace of spades. Come back to hand with a diamond ruff. And we're back on with the spades, of course, drawing out the trumps. They can try to take their king of diamonds. But actually, they know we're going to ruff it. They probably switch to a heart, let's say. But again, we ruff it. Jack of spades draws out the last trump. And we simply force out the ace king of clubs. With any luck, We're just going to have enough trumps left to do this. It's a fairly tight run thing. Yeah, thank you for the compliment, Sally. And I always make it look easy online, you know, these hands. But in fact, they're not easy at the table, no. And you've got the pressure of the other three players as well. Yeah. Where are we? Jack of clubs. Sorry, Dad, I don't quite understand your question. What about leaving a trump that is higher than yours on the table? No, we had to draw trumps here. Yeah. And there were two trumps, you see. There was the king and a little one died here. So we did need to draw the trumps out. I think what you're thinking about maybe is if there's just one trump left that's higher. Yeah, here there were two. So they come back a diamond. Luckily, we've still got one more trump left. And the club, of course, is a winner. Yeah, it made it look easy. It wasn't. And clearly, yes, that hand was actually, as luck has it, that hand was relevant to what we've been doing today, discarding a certain loser. Yeah, and a useful recap of the useful points as well. Let's go back to the classroom. Hang on. Here we go. Okay, here's another one for you. We're playing 6 hearts. There's the bidding for you. And the lead is the 10 of diamonds. How are you going to play 6 hearts on the lead of 10 of diamonds? Never play too quickly at trick 1. How many losers have you probably got here? Or possibly? Not definitely. Yeah, 2. I'd say almost certainly the king of diamonds and possibly the king of hearts here. So which card are we going to play from dummy at trick 1 is the next thing. Morning, Tony D, Ella, Kim, Valerie, Sally AD, Tim, Patricia, Anne's with us, Alice, Lisa. Yeah, I mean, there's 2 reasons why we should play the ace of diamonds. A, because East has almost certainly got the king. Why would they be leading the 10 of diamonds if they have the king? I mean, we've got the 9 in dummy as well, so it can't be top of the sequence. It has to be a singleton or doubleton lead, really. And also, we don't need to take the diamond finesse here. We don't need to risk it, do we? So what do we do at trick 2? We win the ace of diamonds. Well done. Otherwise, you might be down before you started. And from dummy then, yeah. Yeah, this is why it's important to plan at the beginning of a hand, because that's when everything needs to be looked at. No point making a plan halfway through the hand when you're 1 down. So very good. Those are your 2 losers, probably 2. Yeah, simple when you know how these things. Play the ace, king of spades, and the diamond goes away, and then play the jack of hearts. So you keep the lead in dummy if the jack wins. Better than playing the 3 of hearts. So ace of diamonds, ace, king of spades, discarding the jack of diamonds, and then run the jack of hearts. And you'll make an over trick if the heart finesse is working. Definitely finessing there. Remember, with 9 cards or 10 cards missing the king, you always finesse. With 9 or 10 cards, the rhyme doesn't apply to kings. Okay, let's have another one. It's all about playing the hand stay, of course, discarding certain losers. You know the technique. So we found ourselves in 5 clubs. Unusually, you know that I don't like playing in 5 clubs or 5 diamonds. But here, 3 no trumps would fail on a spade lead. So 5 clubs is actually a much better contract. So counting losers, again, how many have we got, do you think? Maria's fastest finger first. She's gone, who wants to be a millionaire, Maria? Maria's in Spain. Hola. Excuse my Spanish accent. The only words I know in Spanish, Maria, dos cervezas, por favor. Oh, she likes my accent. Morning, Elizabeth, Assumpta, Ella. Yes, I've definitely had to improvise this morning. I think it's the first time ever that we've had a problem with BBO. No, we did have a problem a long time ago, but it got solved before the lesson. Yes, 2 beers, LBO support, yes. Most important words in Spanish, of course, when you're on holiday. Or maybe 3 beers, slightly more important. 3 losers, you've got the ace of diamonds, the queen of spades, and the ace of clubs. So here you see it's no good drawing trumps. They'll just take their winners straight away. So win with the ace of spades, and what next? Tell me precisely. I think, by the way, I will double check this, but I think Bajir was going to put on the Roman keycard practice for you in the replay library, by the way. Has he done so? I could just ask you without me having to look. But someone was asking, I think Stuart was asking. Oh, Jack's mum's at the party. So we did Roman keycard Blackwood last week, and I had the bright idea to have the practice lesson from a while ago. The live, well, it was live, it's now recorded, putting in the library as a bonus for you. Oh, it's there, is it, Charles? Oh, good. So yes, just to make a note to all of you watching live this morning or in replay, the practice lesson, which is an hour long from a while ago, is in the replay library, which will be useful for you, for those who need to practice Roman keycard. The reason I didn't want to do a live lesson on it, by the way, was I know probably half of you, a third of you, half of you don't actually play Roman keycard Blackwood, you know, which is fine. It is more advanced. Keep things simple would be my advice. Yeah, so what we're going to do, everyone, is play the King of Hearts. Let's just have a look. Definitely don't draw trumps. Yeah, a lot of Sally AD will be frightened of Roman keycard Blackwood. There's no point playing it if you're going to get the responses wrong and get into a pickle and stress about it. You know, keep with the normal Blackwood for the time being. So yes. Play the King of Hearts, make the unusual play of overtaking with the ace. Quite tricky to do that at the table. But you have no entries to dummy. So your only chance is to do that. Yeah, it doesn't cost you a trick either here, because you've only got 1 spade to go. So King of Hearts, overtake with the ace of hearts, cash the Queen of Hearts, and discard the Jack of Spades. Remarkably simple, but only when you know how. It's all down to the planning, isn't it? At trick 1. 5 clubs made, 3 no trumps, 1 down. Yeah, 3 no trumps, you'd lose 3 spades at least and 2 aces. Notice how that if you had the ace king of clubs here, then you could draw the trumps first. You know, because you're not losing the lead. I think the whole point about this lesson is that you're losing the lead here. You know, if you've got the ace king of trumps, that's fine. Play those. But here you'd have to lose the lead and go down. I think it's all about playing hands now. So let's go and play some hands, which will be now of a fairly random nature. Yeah, because of the glick on BBO. Hang on, let me just press the right button. So these could be anything, really. So we are playing the random hands, effectively. Let me just load them up for you. Here we go. So what would you open on the south hand? Hang on. Let's go to this first one first. Oh, no, we've done the first one. Yeah. It's okay. It's all good. Yeah, I would open. Well, I think, yeah, you're all opening 2 hearts. I'm going to alert it. Personally, from an experience point of view, I'd open 1 heart. Yeah, I think it's too strong, Anne. I mean, it doesn't pass the rule of 20, but it's just such a good heart suit. I honestly would open 1 heart on that hand. I just think it's a bit good. Yeah, I'm happy to go with 2 hearts here. It's actually what happened at the table. Yeah, Jack's mum would agree with me, I think, that I think all experienced players, you do need a wealth of experience to do this, would say actually it is 10 points, but it's just too good for a 2 heart opener with ace, king, jack to 6. So that's just something to bear in mind. But it's the E word again. It comes down to experience. You can't really teach experience at bridge. You know, that just comes. There's so many kind of little tiny exceptions to the rule, which is why bridge is such a fascinating game. We're learning, Tiggy, when to break the rules. And, you know, bridge first year or 2 or 3 is about actually playing to the rules. You know, I think most good bridge is playing to the rules, not forgetting them. Fails the rule of 20, Mary, you see. That's why it's a tricky one. But experienced players would just look at that heart suit and say, look, it's 10 points. It's just too good for a week 2. And yeah, Jack's mum would open 1 heart. There you go, Sam. You don't want to disagree with Jack's mum. Right. And North, what would they do, if anything? Yes, level of the fit. Knowing they've got 9 hearts between them. Elaine's got a question. She says, what could be the problem of opening 2 hearts? Well, the problem is, Elaine, your partner won't raise to game with 13 or 14 points. Yeah, and hearts and a couple of hearts. So you might well miss a game. That's entirely the problem, just so everyone understands. If you open a week 2 there, you'll sometimes miss game if partner's got 13 or 14 points. Because that's a really good 10 points. For me, that's not 10 points as South. It's more like 11 or 12 from the good heart suit. West, Tim, isn't quite right for double, no, because they need to be short in hearts. So a double. Good question from Tim. He's wondering why West doesn't double, because they're not short in hearts. And they've only got 11 points, really 12 plus to double. Not far away. But happy to answer your question there, Tim. And that's it. 3 hearts is the final contract. Level of the fit, I think you mean 10 hearts, Julia. Yeah, so if North had 4 hearts in their hand, they know they'd have 10 between them. They would bid straight to 4 hearts. 10 trumps equals 10 tricks. Yeah. Does that make it clear? Oh, no, South would never go 4 now, Sam. No, because North literally might only have 3 points or 6 points or 7 points. No, North could have a really weak hand. So we don't make up for lost ground in bridge. Didy's wondering how the bidding would have gone after 1 heart. Yeah, good question from Didy. It would have simply gone 1 heart, pass, 2 hearts. Yeah. All pass. He says only got 10 points. I think I would actually. I think if it went 1 heart, past 2 hearts by North, I would double with the East hand there, actually. Yeah. Well, we are vulnerable, but it's a really nice 10 points, isn't it, with a singleton heart and 4 spades. I would make an exception there and again break the rules with such a nice hand. I'd make a takeout double there. If it went 1 heart past 2 hearts, I would put in a cheeky double there with the East hand, even vulnerable. South would then bid 3 hearts to make it more difficult for them to bid, and that would still be the final contract. Well, I think West would then come in with 3 spades. Actually, yeah, they might find their spade fit. They make 3 spades. Ace, king of diamonds in a rough, and the ace of hearts. Yeah, you make 3 spades. So as it happens, a week 2, Does work better on this hand, but only as luck happens. Ironically, I would say it died in. Yes, it's quite interesting, Alison. Yeah, something we'll consider for the future, having a random hand. It's bringing up lots of conversation, how the bidding might be different. Yeah, it's quite fun, how the bidding would be different. And actually, if you opened one heart here, it wouldn't work so well for you because the opponents get in with their spades and they make 3 spades here. So ironically, the 2 heart bid works better, but that's just bridge for you, isn't it? Right, let's have a go at 3 hearts. Counting losers, I'm sure you're all going to say 4. Remember this hand, from now on, they're random hands. Okay. It is lucky I had these in the bank. Otherwise, I'd have literally been giving you another lesson, I think, with slides, which would have been okay. Hang on, I mustn't play too quickly. Have you made a plan? Don't tell me, but I've made a plan. Potentially, yeah, potentially 5 losers here. 3 spades and 2 clubs. Oh, Peter A, good morning. Jane H, good morning. So I've made a plan, but I've already made my plan, so I'm now going to play the ace of diamonds. What do we do now at trick 2, everyone? Which card should we play at trick 2? Yeah, too high probably for it to take out over 3 hearts. I agree with you, Jack's mum, there on the takeout double for East with only 10 points. So remember, this is a random hand, but remember the main time we don't draw trumps. It is actually, fun enough, this is relevant to today's lesson. It's all about whether to draw trumps or not. We need to create the void and dummy. Yeah, we're not doing any losers. There's no clever losers on losers here. It's a pure trumping in dummy, creating the void. Okay? Now, so this is the main time we don't draw trumps. And sometimes it is a bit of a smoke screen for bridge players. They don't really see it. Second player is interesting. Would you go second player play low here? Or would you play the queen of spades? That's the next question. Do you think you'd go second player play low as East? Or should you put in the queen of spades? Interesting. Well, this second player play low, but actually you do well to put in the queen of spades here, because if De Clara had started with ace jack X, they might well put in the jack of spades here and make 2 tricks in the suit. So by putting in the queen here, if De Clara had the ace and the jack, you'll limit their winners to 1. So well done. It's not always second player play low. Okay. And what card does East play back now, having won the queen of spades? Good play, that. It's tempting to go second player play low, but as I say, if De Clara started with the ace and the jack of spades, they'd have put in the jack of spades and not had a spade loser. Known as splitting your honours. Have you ever heard that expression, split your honours? Used to be around quite a lot in the 80s. Because you don't signal, Jill T. Good question. Just wondering why they don't play the 9. You don't signal in that position. You only signal when partner makes an opening lead of a card. Yeah, you don't. West does not signal here with the 9 of spades. That's quite important. Good question from Jill there. You only make a signal when you lead, not when partner's second player. Morning, Robin. Cynthia T. Yeah, it's easy to get confused with signalling, Jill T. Like the man in Harrogate who I once taught, who thought every single card was a signal. Once I taught him the suit preference signal. It's chaos. Defo switch to a trump. Of course, another spade comes back. He was called David, actually, Jackson. I'm the chap in Harrogate. I can tell you his name. I won't tell you his wife's name because you might then know who they are. She's got quite a distinctive name. Right, so another trump comes back. Yeah, I think we can waste the 10 of clubs there. High encouraging for a signal. As I'm sure there was a John as well who got confused. Right, well, very well done, everyone. We've now created the void. And there's an extra trick for us, by the way, the elusive 9th trick. Now we need to get back to hand, so probably best with a diamond rough. Draw the last trump. Well, we're just going to give up 2 clubs now. Let's just do that for the sake of argument. No way we're going to get round them. And the last couple of tricks are ours. So we have just squeezed home in 3 hearts. Great result for us. 3 spades would have made by East-West. They couldn't get into the auction. Crucially, creating that void in dummy. Okay, let's play another one. Hang on. Let's see what we got for you here. This one here. And south is the opener. Would you open 3 clubs on the south hand? Or would you pass? Yeah, I'd open 3 clubs any day of the week, even Monday. You got the 10, 9, 8 of clubs. Yeah, it's a robust suit, isn't it? I think I'd even open it vulnerable, actually, Peter. It's a bit borderline by playing a lot of duplicate pairs, where you have to be a bit more aggressive. But maybe at duplicate pairs, I'd put in a cheeky 3 club, even vulnerable. But then pairs is all about trying to steal the bidding, isn't it? Interesting. Does North bid anything? What have they got? 11 points? Jill's got a very good question. Would you still open 3 clubs with a 4-card major? Well, most purists don't actually, Jill, with a 4-card major. If partner's passed, it's fine. But if partner hasn't bid, generally not, Jill. Good question. If it was a weak 4-card major, maybe, Jill, it's like 4 to the 10 or something, a poor 4-card major, then I probably would. But generally, I don't like opening a week 2 or a week 3 with a 4-card major on the side. Most top players wouldn't. Well, Interesting, isn't it? Does North bid? Or do they pass? Yeah, but I think what you've got to be thinking to yourself, if you're thinking about bidding, you must thinking partner's unlikely to have a, you know, a fit in hearts. No, it's, even if I had 15, 16 points here, I'd still be passing. It's put up or shut up, everyone. So it's tempting for less experienced players to bid with that hand. But if you were to bid, it's forcing to game. So any new suit, like 3 hearts now, is a very strong hand forcing to game. Okay? It's not to play. I mean, why, why go any further? You're not going to make game with 11 points opposite partner at hands such as that, are you? 7 clubs and nothing much else. So it is tempting to bid, but definite pass. So even if I had a lot more points, I'd still be passing. Okay, 3 clubs it is. Plan the play. How many losers have we got? Potentially. Yeah, no, I wouldn't be, no. To bid 3 no trumps, Jane, after a week 3, you need at least, I would say, 16 points or more and something in the club suit, like a king of clubs or an ace of clubs. Yeah, it's a long way from 3 no trumps. It would actually be a disaster, 3 no trumps here. Good question, though. I'd only bid 3 no trumps with at least 16 points or more and something in clubs. King X, ace X, X, something like that. Interesting. We have clubs divide 2-2, 1 club, 2 spades and 2 diamonds maybe. It's quite tricky to count losers on this hand. 2, 3, let's say 4, shall we? But it might be 5. All right. Depending on how clubs divide. Hi, Patricia Dillon, Gold Dust, Amanda L, Julia Q, of course, Katie P, Lisa. Yeah, win with the ace. And at trick 2, what do we do? Well, hang on a second. Naughty me. We must put in the 9 of spades there. Let's practice our signaling. Yeah, when partner makes a lead. 9 of spades is high encouraging. I've got the king. Right, so ace of spades. Which card from dummy now at trick 2? All good answers? Yes, let's create the void. Good. And what card does East play back now? Well, most of you are playing back the king of spades. To be honest with you, there's no way that it's going to go away, that king of spades. It's not going to disappear. I would actually switch to a trump now. Not the queen, because that might give away the position. Yeah, to try and thwart De Clara, as Jack's mum's just said. That king of spades is not going to run away. There's no way that De Clara is going to be able to get rid of it, a spade loser in their hand. There's nothing on dummy that's any good. So better to come back a trump to try and take those trumps off the table for diamond roughs. Normally top of a doubleton, Lisa, but I don't want to give away the position of the queen here to De Clara. Yeah. So I'm playing a low club instead of the queen. Normally top of doubleton, but, we don't need to be signaling to partner because it's the trump suit, you see. Good question from Lisa. Now we can rough the diamond, look. Ace of hearts. Small heart. Now we can draw the last few trumps. They can switch to their spade. Whatever. But we're on the home straight now, aren't we? King of diamonds is a winner. And we'll claim the last three. They're all winning trumps, yeah. +1, so that'd be a good result at your local duplicate. 130. Top score, any other contracts wouldn't make. You can see what a disaster 3 hearts would be, or 3 no trumps, even worse. Good. Let's move on to another hand. Hang on. Reminds me, actually, I must have a few more bonus hands in here for any kind of future disaster stored up. Right, so where are we here? East. Did they open the bidding? What have they got? 7 points. Well, borderline. I think playing duplicate pairs. I mean, playing teams of 4 rubber bridge, I might well pass with that. But yeah, it's difficult. I honestly think I would pass. Yeah, with the 4-card major. It's quite a decent 4-card major, 4 to the ace 10. I know, some experts would bid 2 diamonds. And funny enough, at the table they did. But that's what they did. But actually, personally, I would pass. Yeah, as Jack's mum said, the diamond suit's a bit scrappy. The spade suit's quite good. You might miss out. The problem is, if you open 2 diamonds here, partner might have 4 spades. You might miss out on a spade fit. No way you're going to find it. Yeah. So even though at the table they open 2 diamonds, I honestly would pass at duplicate pairs. If we'd gone pass, then yes, I would open 2 diamonds. Sorry, if partner's a passed hand, then it doesn't matter. You're not going to find a fit anyway. But yeah, good one. Pass from south. I'm sure you're all going to bid 3 diamonds level of the fit with the west hand. North, anything for them. 15 points. It's actually worked out quite fun today, hasn't it? Playing these random hands. It's been really instructive. Loads of different things have come up that you wouldn't normally discuss because every hand is a random one. Apart from, well, the first was actually relevant to the lesson. No, I'd still open LBO support. I'd still, even with a decent diamond suit, that spade suit is just a bit good for me. For opening 2 diamonds, ace 10 to 4, I'd still pass with East. Anything from North, though? Yeah, been a lot of really interesting points have come up with these random hands. We'll have to think about doing something like that. Yeah, anything for North? Well, some would forget, some improvers and intermediates too would forget to bid here, but it's perfect for a takeout double, isn't it? Yeah, short in diamonds, 15 points. Yeah, get into the action. West could be bidding on tram tickets. They might not have any points at all. East passes. Double 100% for takeout, by the way. I had a query midweek from someone asking about double. If partner has passed or not yet bid, then double is for takeout, even at the 2 or 3 level. What next for South, if anything, do you think? 10 points, responding to the double? What do you think is the most practical bid? You're watching replay. Hello again to you. Hope you're enjoying this rather impromptu random hand session. I am actually. Really interesting. What's your practical bid with South, do you think? And you know who I'm about to quote, whose name I sometimes forget, actually. So here's the American. I've actually forgotten his name. It's not always on tip of my tongue. Jack's mum might remember. He's the all-time master point winner in America. Grandmaster about 1 million times over. Oh, that's it. Well done. Bob Hammond. I do forget that name sometimes. And his expression is, if 3 no trumps is a choice of bid, then bid 3 no trumps. Famous expression. Well done, Jack's mum to the rescue. With Bob Hammond, you can Google him. Never met him. But yeah, he's known as Mr. 3 no trumps. And I like that expression. Why would we want to bid 4 clubs? I know some of you suggested it, but it's just no man's land, isn't it? Much better to bid 3 no trumps. And we've got the ace queen of diamonds. It's perfect. 2 stoppers. Yeah, so that's an interesting auction for you. Quite right. They're bound to lead a diamond, Peter, aren't they? Good. Well, it's obvious we're going to play a low diamond from dummy, but planning the play. Remember, it's very different in no trumps, counting certain tricks. Looking for the extras, which I'm now doing. Am I seeing any pitfalls here? What am I thinking to myself? Thinking to myself, just go back to the bidding, which I don't need to do because I can remember it, but East has got 6 diamonds. Likely to be short in other suits. Let's go. Okay, so far so good. Well, it's clearly right to play on clubs for our gold dust. But which club should we play next, do you think? Which club should we play? You could have got 2 choices. You play a low one, the 2, or you could play the king. One is right, one is wrong. Morning, Tony Mack. Send my love to Tiger. Dulcie. Ooh, Dulcie's with us. Hi, Dulcie. Many of our regulars, of course. Elizabeth B from Knaresborough. I was having a golf lesson at Knaresborough Golf Club the other day, B, with Lydia. It's very good. I can recommend Lydia for those who live near Knaresborough or Harrogate for golf lessons. Julia M is with us. Sandra. It's interesting, actually. It's quite difficult. Because normally you would start with the king of clubs in case of a singleton queen. But that's wrong. Look what happens if you do. I'll just show you. So this is wrong. But if you start with the king of clubs, hoping there might be a singleton queen with e-switch, it's obviously a bit unlikely. All so far and so good first. I think Jack's mum has come up with the key word. Ace of clubs now. Ooh. And whoops. It's blockage, everyone. Yeah, Sandy spotted that. Jack's mum spotted it. You can come back down with a diamond. But no, that's no good. You can now no longer make any clubs. Let's go back in time. Yeah, Sandy gets the gold point for being the first to spot the blockage. Tricky to spot. Tricky to spot the blockage. Yeah, I mean, very unlikely that every now and again you might lose to a singleton queen. But look how this works, you see. West is much more likely to have length in clubs. And if West has got length in clubs, they're clearly much more likely to have the queen. Just simple probability. Now we play the ace of clubs. And the suit is no longer blocked, look. We're never going to make those diamonds, are we? What does East say? Let's say they throw a heart. Okay. So king of clubs. What do we do next? We've just made our 3 club tricks. We're still a trick short, aren't we? Yes, it's lose to win. We need 2 extra tricks, everyone. So we do need a club trick here. Yeah. Look, we've only made 4 tricks. If we take the heart finesse and that wins, that's up to 8. But we do need a club, everyone. And it is safe to do so. So let's give them a club. Diamond comes back. But we're ahead of the game now. We now lose to win with a club. So, of course, this 9 of clubs is a winner. Diamond can go. Hang on to their diamonds now in case they get back in. Heart. To the what, everyone? Well, you're going to say Jack, aren't you? Of course you are. You need the heart finesse. And East has been discarding hearts anyway. So almost certainly they haven't got the queen. Ace of hearts. Quite a tricky hand, this one. It's a good hand, actually. And then we lose the last 3. I'm just going to give those up. But we're going to claim 9 tricks. 400. Interesting, wasn't it? Tricky that, especially playing that low club to the jack. The 2 of clubs to the jack there to avoid blockage. That was quite hard. Because entries were very sparse back to those clubs. Fun hand though, fun in the bidding too, as well. Let's just have one more hand. It's 26 minutes past 10, so I'd like to give you value for money. Hang on a second, a fun hand to finish on, I think. Yeah, it's good fun to do something different, B, isn't it? Yeah, I'll mention it to Bajir. I know he's on holiday for a few weeks in America. This is something we could look at for the future as well, every now and again. Yeah, totally realistic. But everyone's enjoying them. Yeah, and you don't know what's going to come up either. You know, clearly, you know, in a double lesson, you know, they're all going to be about double, or, you know, in a forcing lesson. And next week's lesson, before we forget, I'm in a mystery location. Tricky no trump contracts next week. Again, Tiggy, yeah. Well, you know, I do have to have some holiday. I've only been away for 1 week. Yes, next week's lesson is tricky no trumps, which should be interesting. And the mystery location, I'm on an island. I'll just tempt you because I know you like guessing games. I'm on an island that begins with the letter R. How about that? Right, let's play one more hand because I like playing games as well, surprisingly enough. Hang on, let me focus on this one. I don't think there's that many islands beginning with R, are there? Oh, Reunion Island. That's a new one. I wouldn't have thought of that. Right. Well, it is a classic 2 diamond opener. Well, even allergic. So I quite like pressing the alert button. South? What do you think? Oh, Rockall from Anne. Well done. Good knowledge. I can't say yes or no. What are you on the south hand? Are you double or 2 spades? Where are you on the south hand? Double or 2 spades? Yeah, Elaine, week 2's 5 to 10. Yeah, I much prefer 2 spades here. With the good 5-card suit and the poor 4-card heart suit, yeah. West, what's their best bid, do you think, in response to the 2 diamonds? Yeah, it's good quality suit. And generally, it's better to overcall the 5-card major. Tells partner you've got 5 of them or more. Otherwise, you might not find the 5-3 fit. Well, it's level of the fit time, isn't it? And that says 5 diamonds, everyone. You know you've got 11 between you, and you're non-vulnerable. I'd probably still bid 5 diamonds vulnerable there, to be honest with you, with a singleton. And they must have something big on in the majors, the opposition. It might keep them out of a slam. North. It's a fairly clear bit of 5 spades, isn't it? I would be thinking about 6, but you can't gamble on 6 here. So 5 spades, of course. Yeah, I mean, 5 diamonds doubled. It's only 3 off. It's only 500. You know, it's a good sacrifice against vulnerable 5 spades. So best to bid 5 spades here. I would bid 5 spades. Top of, yeah, high for hate. Right, well, counting losers, everyone. Assume hearts divide 3-2. They will do pretty much 70% of the time. How many losers have we got here? And thanks, Alice, for your presence. Yeah, I'd be thinking a heart, a diamond, and a club. Yeah, potentially 3 losers. Yeah, I'm also thinking I might have to take the club finesse, but I don't want to. Something I'd be thinking about here for sure. How can I not take the club finesse myself? Right, let's see what happens. What does East do next, do you think, having played the ace of diamonds? Well, only 2 heart losers, Mary, if they divide 4-1, which would be unlucky. I would actually only count 1 heart loser here. Lisa's saying the same. Yeah, if they're 4-1, that's only like a 30% chance. Yeah, I think a trump is fairly safe here. You don't need to switch to a top of a doubleton in trumps yet, rather than opening up a new suit. So win with the ace. Draw another round of trumps. Right, interesting. What next for Declarer on dummy? Bit of extended play this morning, 10:33, that's fine. Yes, I was certainly a bit panicked at 9 o'clock when I couldn't load up my hands. Well, does the words end and play come into effect here? It looks as though we might have to take the heart finesse. Lisa wants to know why top of a doubleton. Well, you can send a signal to your partner, Lisa. If you go high and then low, it tells them you've got a doubleton, your partner. Yeah, that's why. There's no point signaling a doubleton in trumps. So yes, here, let's play the ace king of hearts. Hoping they divide 3 and 2, which they do. And now what? Well, we've got a heart loser. If you're going to lose a trick, lose it early. Look what happens if you get off lead with a heart. East is now officially end played. If they lead a diamond, which they probably wouldn't, you get a rough and a discard look. Sorry, hang on. You discard the heart and trump. Yeah, rough and a discard to make the contract. Make an overtrick now if you guess the club. Sorry, no. Hang on. I'm getting confused. Right, let me rewind. Sorry. If they play the jack of diamonds, yes, I was right first time. You throw the club. And rough on the dummy. Yeah. And now you make your contract. Yeah. 11 tricks, 5 spades, rough and a discard. But if they play a club, which they probably would do, hoping that partner had the king queen or something, or the king jack, you've of course taken the finesse for declarer. Yeah, they've had to open up the club suit for you. And again, you make 11 tricks. There we go. And we claimed the last few trumps there. Yeah, actually 650 because we're vulnerable, so much better than getting the opponents doubled in 5 diamonds. Yeah, so nice little end play to end on. 11 tricks. Well, it's 10:36. Let's just go briefly back to the classroom. In order of frequency, when you don't draw trumps, Caroline, you create the void on dummy like we did in one of the set hands. Establishing dummy's 5 card suit, the gold dust, and then discarding a certain loser. Do you remember just 3 things, Caroline? Will you remember to count losers in high-level trump contracts?
Well, I'm still working on it. It's quite new to me.
Quite hard counting losers.
Yeah, I'm going to do
I think others will. I know that others will struggle with it a bit as well. It's very easy when you know how to do it, but when you don't, quite a lot find it difficult. If you have to lose the lead in the trump suit, delay drawing trumps and discard the loser. And then once the loser has been discarded, then you must remember to draw the trumps.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really interesting. It was really fun having the mix of hands as well. And just
quite a few said that in the chat box, Caroline. Yeah, it's really interesting having the random hands and the problems they threw up with it as well. You know, lots of different things came up, like, you know, like if you should open a week 2 with a 4-card major, for example. You know, that's really
exactly. Like I mean, week opening bids are always really interesting to me, and you know, like you said, your experience really comes into it. So, you know, the first one for me was really clear that it was probably a bit too strong to open 2 hearts. But the second one, the 3 clubs, I was like, oh no, I'd pass that one. And then you're like, that's a great sort of solid 10, 9, 8, 7 suit. And I was like, oh, of course, you know, you have to remember that those lower cards when you've got a sequence count. So, yeah.
Well, that's why we enjoy this game so much, Caroline. Yeah, there's so much depth to it. And, you know, it's great fun learning the rules. But then after a few years, it's even more fun knowing when not to do something.
Yeah.
Thank you to TJ. Yes, saying well recovered from the BBO setback. I must actually do that. I must keep a few hands just in store, just in case we have that problem again. Luckily, Caroline, I had these 5 hands stored up.
I know, that was well prepared. Definitely
well, it was a little bit of good fortune as well. But I did actually keep them there for a rainy day, just in case we had a problem. So I deleted the other ones. And Claire, like the random hands, gets you thinking out of the box. Gets me thinking out of the box as well.
You just don't know what to expect. Thank you, Beetle. I try to join in.
Yes, Beetle likes your interaction. Just if anyone wants a bonus lesson, of course, on Wednesday, this Wednesday, the improvers are doing Making a Plan in 3 No Trumps. Yeah, at 11 o'clock UK time. So doing lots of no trump hands there. I think we did it relatively recently on this channel. But if anyone's struggling with their no trump play, come and join us on Wednesday. Otherwise, a week today in the mystery location, we'll be doing quite fun, actually, tricky no trump contracts.
Tricky no trumps.
Yeah.
Yes. Any chance I get to improve in no trumps, I will take for sure.
You'll be there. Yeah. Well, most bridge players will find playing no trumps more difficult.
It is just a little bit more difficult. Just In particular, I'm starting to get my head around the bidding more, but it's really just the strategy of the card play, and making sure that you're, losing early and all those things. So
making a plan at trick one, and sometimes the contracts are still hard, So we're looking at, it'll be fun to improve everyone's a little bit on the no trumps next week.
Knowing how many times to duck. I think I heard, was it the rule of 7?
Well, I didn't actually teach the rule of 7, so I'm not going to discuss it now, but you're welcome to Google it. Yeah.
It is really interesting, yeah.
The reason I used to teach it, people confuse the rule of 7 with the rule of 11. So I thought, no, me and other teachers were the same, but you can Google rule of 7 if you like. But I generally say, if in doubt, Caroline, and here's the prompt, duck twice.
Duck twice. I remember it because he's got 2 little green boots.
That's right, yes, his wellies. Sorry, her wellies. She's called Lucy.
There are quite a lot of rules from
lots of thank yous today, Caroline, in the chat box. I think people actually really appreciated the fact we were doing random hands today. So it's amazing what came out of the tech problem. Actually worked really well. But I'll have to store up a few more hands just in case that problem happens.
Just in case.
Well,
just in case we have another tech outage. Yes.
Thank you very much for stepping in for Bajir.
Oh, it's always my pleasure. I love it. It's it's such a great opportunity as well to join in with the group and hear not only your thoughts but also the questions from the other members, which is what it's all about. So it's
all about the interaction, and this is why I think the online classes are so popular and have remained so popular, Karen. So it's interactive. I ask questions, they come back with questions and answers. We can kind of say hello to each other. People have met online, of course, and some of our LBO people have actually played face to face.
And you're looking at the same set of cards all at the same time and all playing at the same pace.
Yes.
So it just
makes if we were doing like a face to face lesson, there'd be no interaction. If I asked a question, no one would dare put up their hand in a room and get it wrong and stuff. So I'd say that's probably the best. There's many good things about online. I'd say easily one of the best ones is the interaction between myself and the students.
Yeah, I think it's a brilliant way of learning. I've thoroughly embraced.
Another really good thing as well, Caroline, just whilst we're on the subject, and thank you, Robin, Beetle, Barbara, is the replay. Because I know lots of you are watching in replay, and you can't do that in real life. You have to turn up at a certain time, park the car, walk, take the bus, whatever. Here, you're at home, you're busy, just watch it whenever you can.
Even if you're watching the live stream as well, sometimes I go back and I watch the lesson 2 or 3 times, and I might have a little break in between, a couple of months, and it's just to refresh. And once that first layer sinks in, go back and add to it, and just
another brilliant thing, and this is all down to Bajir, this side, is, having the replay library, Caroline. As you say, people like you, and I know many others do, they go back and look at lessons that they're rusty on, and there's an hour's lesson for them, just sitting there waiting. So, it's all good. Well, listen, have a good week yourself. Right. Wrap up warm.
Yes. I know. Well, enjoy your mystery island.
Oh, yes. So I'll be flying from Gatwick on Saturday morning with the children, just the 3 of us. So, I've never been to this mystery island before, or with this mystery company who I'm going with. The mystery company, by the way, for those who are interested, is M for mother, W for water. I'm going with a mystery company as well. I don't think you'll know it, Caroline, no, because it's kind of UK based.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, you won't know, but they'll soon find out what I'm up to. But it's quite an adventure because I've never been to this island or be with this company before, so it'll be quite exciting.
It does sound all very sort of cloak and dagger and fun. So
it's cloak and dagger, yes. Well, listen, Carol, I'll let you get off. Right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great week. See you next week.
Bye, Jack's mum.